Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Off Gridders podcast, where we talk about everything from off grid self sufficient living, hunting in the Maine woods, and everyday life struggles. Off Gridders, living and striving for self sufficiency and to continue having grit, digging deep, and holding on to the dreams we've thought up in our minds. Today we have our first ever guest on the podcast. Please bear with us as we are still learning. We want to give you a warm welcome to Mr. Cory Ryder. He is an infamous YouTuber along with his sidekick, Miss Gracie. You can find them on the YouTube channel, The Maine Woods, where they're usually rebuilding a log cabin, building their own off-grid cabin, adventures in the woods, finding sheds, hunting, fishing, you name it. Keenan and I found Cory in the woods one day in our shed hunting spot and sparked up a friendship. And now we are all having a weekend away in a beautiful little cabin on a gorgeous North Maine Woods lake. So today we're going to ask him some personal questions to learn more about him, some YouTube questions, goals, future plans, off-grid life, hunting, all the things we love. So, welcome, Cory, and I hope you guys enjoy.
You know what I do want to talk about real quick? I don't know if you're going or
Oh,
not.
I've been going.
Why did everyone in Maine refer to stuff as Jack something?
I know what you mean. I don't know if there's an alternate definition for Jack. Like usually, like I think of Jack for Jack Pine as like stunted.
Right? Like young.
Yeah,
Yeah. But there's actually no Jack anything
right.
species.
It's
There's no Jack Pines.
yeah.
There's no Jack Fir. But everyone always refers to young, in your face.
Mm.
I don't know. Popped my head earlier. I was looking at a fir tree and it was like, the only fir we have here is balsam fir. Like we have 6 spruce trees. We have 1 fir tree. But everyone calls them Jack fir. We have 1 smelt species. We have numerous uh, chub species. Everyone calls smelt different names if they're big or small. And it's Jack for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Mm.
Like
Just one of those questions that are stuck in my head.
okay, we get first off, Cory, do you even know the name of our podcast?
No.
This is all fresh.
Mm.
I didn't know it till like a week ago. So
We are the Off Gridders.
spelt like grit, like true grit.
Off
Yeah,
Gritters
grit.
Like
podcast.
double T's.
Yeah.
Gitters. Off Gridders.
GI.
GR.
Gitters.
We
It's off to it.
shouldn't be doing this right now.
This has been a very long day. I didn't sleep last night because, I was in pain.
No, no. Gracie. I mean,
Gracie
she
was the
slept
other
great.
reason.
Gracie slept great. She's great.
Look at her.
Slept great. She always does.
We're the Off Gridders
Okay.
podcast hosted by Emily and Keenan, or Keenan and Emily, or however you want, whoever goes first. And we haven't even we've posted an introduction. And it's on every platform. It's out there right now.
But
nobody knows about
there's
it.
no
'Cause I haven't-
actual content to listen to.
No, there's just an introduction. It's like a minute, 50 seconds. It's me just talking about what it's going to be about. And yeah, I haven't like posted it on like Instagram or YouTube or anything like that, so nobody knows about it. But some people have like listened to it because it tells me statistics and they're just finding it from like keywords. So it's weird because I haven't told my people about it. But either or, we talk about everything like hunting and fishing and off-grid life. But then we can also talk about like struggles and stories and
Well, congratulations on getting your podcast started.
embarrassed.
I think the name's cool. I like it.
Are you sure?
Yes, I think grit is a
It's like grit.
powerful word. Yeah, grit and determination.
Yes, that's exactly what I say in the introduction. Because we've had to go through that like a lot this year, but specifically in the past 5 years. So we're gritters.
And obviously the off-grid part of it goes without saying.
That's what we're
Be
striving.
off grid as we can.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, I think it's a great name.
for like guests coming on, it's only gonna be like people that like resonate with our life, obviously. Like there's all the podcasts out there for like deer hunting, and it's mostly just deer hunters. Like this is gonna be like, oh, you hunt, you fish, you do off-grid stuff, you can something, you bake something. Like you're all there's like multiple niches, which I like.
Being more in touch with
It's
nature.
it's more inclusive. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that resonates with me, and it's the whole like cabin life concept, and hunting and fishing and foraging and
Doing it
even
yourself.
doing it yourself, even the gardening aspect of it, which
Self-sufficiency. It's a
yes,
huge word that I use.
and it's all part of it, so it's like
I don't want to be
having
able,
this cabin, especially for you guys, you can bring it all together.
yeah.
Mm.
I don't want to have to go to the grocery store for like weeks. I want to have it in my house. Like my grains and I want to be able to make it. I don't want to rely on the store. I almost said the name of it, but we're really trying to not
It's a
tell people where
full
we are.
homestead
Yeah.
concept.
I don't know about the like the animal part yet. 'Cause I really love my ducks.
We've talked a lot about sustainable meat, like, and it's hard with an animal lover because I can do I could do meat ducks. I love the ducks we have. I could do meat ducks. I've done a beef steer, raised him for 3 years.
How hard was it?
It was harder because I got connected to him. It was one animal, put too much time into it, got too connected. If we had had a couple acres of field and could have a couple of them and made it less personal, it wouldn't have been as hard slaughtering them. But
It's right.
pigs, no problem.
Yeah.
I never had a problem raising pigs.
Put the mic closer to
But
your mouth.
it's hard to make deer or bear last us all year. Whereas meat for me is my favorite food group, animal product. And she won't do rabbit. Rabbits are too cute. So sustainable rabbit meat off.
Listen,
And I'm okay with it because it's low fat.
this is my thing with it is I don't want to have to do it. I like
I will do it.
We could do meat ducks, like if the pecans laid eggs and they were fertile and we like in
Raised other
raised them.
pecans.
I can't. I
I know.
can't. I
I know.
can't cut the heads off.
I don't expect you.
They're dogs, so
They're not dogs.
I can't. So we're gonna ask Cory questions because he's gonna fall asleep. And we still have cuss lines set.
No, we can leave them overnight. No, we're gonna catch the big ones here.
Some Cuskalingas.
Definitely, which we can talk about the Cuskalinga episode.
I mean,
Yeah.
what have you learned today?
Too much.
What are like 3 specific things you learned today?
3 specific things. Well, Keenan has shown me a lot of just kind of little nuances of setting traps and checking depths and rigging lines, targeting certain species, just kind of more in depth than I've ever gone with that sort of thing. A lot of fishing tactic stuff.
Lots. Togologas.
Oh, is that where you're going with that?
Yeah, what would you call it?
Muskalinga.
Muskalinga. Yeah. Words. We're learning the words every day.
Well, the 3 words
that you learned today?
Yes. It's Cuskalinga, Togologa, and Muskalinga.
Yeah.
And it's just out of excitement. Pure excitement. They're not actual words. It's not what I'm
So I can see t-shirts being made
This could be a
that
merch.
this is like
This could be a merch thing.
yes, this is like your
It took me so long to come up
catchphrase, your
with
slogan.
that, and
Yes.
yeah, I did try to come up with something like that when I started making the merch, and then I found the logo of the house. And
See, I was trying to be all serious answering your
No, you can
question,
be
and,
funny.
and then I didn't know you were going about the
I just think it's funny because
which for the record,
for the people like that are gonna listen to this and not know that, like, we haven't spent a whole heck of a lot of time together, and then Cory just invites us to come stay in this cabin for 3 nights, and he's like getting all of us at once.
it's been overwhelming, yes. But so for the record, we had to get to the bottom of the Cuskalinga Togologa thing, and turns out the origination of this was Keenan thought the pronunciation of musky or muskellunge,
Muscalone.
which we're not even sure of anymore.
And we can't look up because we
Everyone's
have
second
we got
guessing it
nothing.
now.
We got service.
He thought it was pronounced Muskalinga. So,
There's no linga. Like that would be like Linga.
and so from that he derived Cuskalinga and
Togologa.
Togologa, and it just flows and works really well, and I can't stop saying it now.
No, so like when you're targeting a specific species, like if we have toad traps out, like at the gash, we'll have our brookie set and then we'll have our togue set, and we'll see that last trap go up, and we'll be like Togologa or Cuskalinga, and then we start going because
I know.
we know like it's
Yes.
not going to be a brookie. But I mean, there are cases. Remember, I caught that brookie at like
Caught a really nice female,
30 feet down.
like 18 inches.
Yeah, it was a nice brookie. But normally, because we're like, but like brookie is just brookie.
Now, I don't know who's going to listen to this, but
Probably not.
we even
full
have to
episode.
explain the Togologa thing because outside of Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, nobody knows what togue is. I say
Called
togue
lake
to
trout.
so many
It's a lake,
clients,
yeah.
right? Lake trout. That's all they know it as. No one. It is such a New England thing. And cusk. Cusk is too.
It's cusk.
In Canada, no one calls him cusk.
What do they call him? Burbot?
Burbot is super common.
But it's a cusk.
Or eel pout or ling cod.
They're wrong.
But cusk and togue are very northern New England terms. Like outside of our 3 little state triangle we have,
We're very
no one says cusk or togue.
sheltered.
And I mean no one.
We're very sheltered in New England. We're like the little guys over here to the east.
Yeah.
But yeah, Togologa, Cuskalinga.
Yeah, no, I could see it.
I could do like a cusk, and then like a muskie or togue, and then like they're all like kind of swimming in a circle with all like the words around it. I don't know why I go to circles. Circles are a thing. I don't know. So I wrote down all our questions. These are just questions that
anything you don't want to answer.
Well, I asked
don't
him.
have to answer
I asked
anything.
him the more personal ones today, off recording. That I could remember and get to because they've just been in my head. Because this out of nowhere, here we are. So who are you? Where are you from? Where'd you come from?
Getting real.
Where did it all start? Yeah.
Where did what all start?
Your life.
My life.
Vermont.
I grew up in Vermont, in Grand Isle, Vermont, on Lake Champlain, pretty near the lake. And I guess it's I don't have a great response or answer for the question. I mean, the question was, who are you? Like that's your question. I don't want to just give you my name or where I was born or anything like that. Like there's more to it than that. I don't.
Who are you?
Who am I?
There you go.
The
hard question already.
It is a hard question.
Yeah.
I've already.
I get that's I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
Yeah, we all are. I've explained you to
that
be.
alone is a great answer.
Yes. No, it was good.
I mean, it's sort of a
I guess I put
little honest
little extras like what's your
so it's like there's these are the questions that everyone needs to ask themselves. at some point in life. Who am I? Where did I come from? Why am I here? Where am I going?
Yeah, that's what I got.
Like I know some of the answers to that, you know, and
But it makes you think.
yes, and you should ponder those things and think. And we had a conversation about it earlier about, you know, purpose, meaning in life. And
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
We talked about it right here at the table with the Universe 25.
Oh,
experiment.
okay. Yes,
Mhm.
I was on the couch, so I was
You were in
tea time. I was relaxing.
That was really good tea, by the way.
It really was good tea. I'm gonna buy some of that because that was really good.
But
I was thinking
not
about it
getting
when
off
I was in the outhouse.
That was a nice plug for Partners Mainly Coffee. They do a great job
I
with
know.
all their products.
They do.
Oh, so that was from Mainly Coffee. That
Yeah.
tea?
Yeah, they do tea.
Yeah, they do tea as well.
I looked at it.
Autumn Harvest. Yeah,
It smells so good.
And their Ghost Train coffee this morning was spectacular.
Mm.
I love any nut flavor anyway. It's like
Coffee.
Yeah, you know, I get you guys on board with being ambassadors, you know,
yes.
with them. Yeah.
I love coffee.
Mhm.
I love coffee.
They're great people.
True love.
We'll make that happen.
I actually like to watch him make coffee or him make me a coffee. Like in the videos where he makes the little espressos
Mhm.
and like Kaylee is the one that always gets to like try and I'm like, oh, give me that.
Mhm.
Give me that.
You're an espresso guy?
I don't know. It
It's
just
good.
looks good.
It's a different coffee experience.
It just like I've had like
I can't say I've had espresso.
well I
had
worked at Dunkin' Donuts in high school, but that's like ugh.
I don't.
It tastes like
I
bitter,
don't like Dunkin' Donuts
hard-
coffee.
Mhm.
I don't even know. So like that's not like a real espresso to me. Like somebody that's that using the word passionate about coffee.
So yeah,
it probably tastes a lot better than Dunkin' Donuts.
absolutely. And we're kind of getting off topic, but
I know.
like, so when it comes to like flavorings of their coffee, you know, and they have like flavor profiles and they use, you know, descriptions of that, they use like roasting processes that extract and like different types of coffee beans that extract different like
It's
subtle flavors. It's not artificial flavoring. So when they have a coffee that says like, oh, it has the hint of blueberries, like that's a natural process that gets that flavor. It's not just like artificial blueberry flavoring.
Blue 37.
Yeah, no,
Right.
dropping.
so yeah, it is cool, and like that they're all about that. So
No, yeah, it's very
one of my goals, like
a lot of technique to it.
with creating the Maine Woods YouTube channel and getting it going off the ground, I wanted to work with a coffee company. And so when I found Roger and Sarah Mainly Coffee, I was thrilled about that because I had run into some dead ends, some other places that didn't work out, and but it worked out right off the bat with Mainly Coffee. So it's awesome. And my goal is
That's one of our questions. So you
is
already had it.
well, yeah, well,
One of my questions is what are your goals for 2025 with the YouTube channel?
Mhm.
I think basically is what I was trying to sum up. But like in the whole shebang of it, I
yeah.
guess I do bring up the YouTube channel.
So
It's a big part of you, of who you
definitely, it's like why I know you guys.
are.
And one of the goals is just to continue to grow the channel, doing what I'm doing, complete my cabin at my camp lease location, and continue to document that process on the channel. So I want that. And as far as growth, I'd like to hit 100,000 subscribers, not because the number matters, but it's just sort of a milestone, and it would just be just hitting that milestone that I've kind of worked towards with the channel. And if I could do that in the same year that I complete the cabin, it would just kind of mean something to
Put
me.
it all together.
And helping my partners, specifically Mainly Coffee, because they are struggling entrepreneurs like myself, trying with this self-employed business, and they're not full-time yet. People don't realize that they're not full-time. They both have part-time jobs. They're what started there. They've always been passionate about coffee, and they've you'll have to get them on this podcast. Bro.
Very much seem
Yes.
very like just watching the videos of him like roasting it and talking about it. Like it's like Keenan with fishing. It's like coffee. And I mean, we wouldn't pick the coffee up. It's like at their house. Is that their
It's
house?
their house,
It's
yes.
where they live. It's where they make
Mhm.
this coffee.
You know, and it's all about like starting with what you have, working with what you got,
Yeah.
upgrading as you go, and you can afford, you know,
This whole podcast setup right now.
literally. I love it. This, like
Free.
you need to start down at this level
Yeah.
in the trenches. This
And
isn't
then you
like a,
appreciate it more.
you know, an inherited
No.
thing, you know, like you work from the ground. It's yes, it's going to mean more in the long run as you know, and then people can see that transformation, you know, as you get more and more refined and everything. Like go to my channel, look at my first videos, terrible. My first hundreds of videos, terrible, garbage. I've learned, I've come a long way. I have a long way to go, but that's, and with Roger and Sarah, so yeah, they have their house in Millinocket. That the first level is the roastery, and you know their goals are to open a cafe or coffee shop. But they're so she was a nurse, registered nurse. She had a heart attack. She can't be a nurse anymore, right? So that was their real drive to, we need to make this coffee thing that we're doing as like a side business. Like this has to be our thing, so we can be self-employed and do what we love to do. And so they're still working towards that goal, but they're working part-time jobs on the side because it's not
Yeah.
full, you know, fully sustainable yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're getting to that point, and partnerships with people like me and my channel is helping them to get to that, and I want to see them to get to
Well, I
that.
said it to you the other day because I'm like, why do they not have a cafe?
Mhm.
Like, I would love to like drive down Penobscot Ave and pull in, and
Yeah,
go in and get a coffee
and hang out with
and
them,
hang
and
out
yes,
and have like a little nice little
and
cafe.
and it would be so awesome because then, like, say your products could be on for sale in there,
Yeah.
you know,
Natural.
and
Yeah.
if I have anything there as well, and then think about this, the decorations we could have in there, an actual coffee shop, and it could have,
Marshmallows everywhere.
yes, you know, great photos and
Yeah.
things of your cabin and my cabin. Like it would be awesome to connect all that.
Yeah, it could happen. I could see it
I'd
happen.
love to see it. You know, they're great people. They deserve it, and they're willing to work for it too. So so my goal is, you know, I want to help out with that. I want to help people that I can help, and you know,
That's a good goal. That's considerate. I don't know the word off the top of my head. Most people are like, I want to make a bunch of money.
it's not about money, right?
I mean,
Yes, we
yeah,
all need
no.
money to survive, but
yeah, if you can make an impact using something that you grew
mhm.
to help someone else that needs it, then yeah, that's
The more money you have anyway, the more problems you have.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, but yeah, helping people just brings a certain joy. It's like, you know, getting a kid a Christmas gift. You get a certain joy just knowing that you got them something.
I don't want to get the gift.
Yeah,
I want to give the gift. I'm a giver.
Yeah, because there's a unique, like, pleasure or satisfaction you get from helping somebody else.
Branching off from where we started there of like, where'd you come from, yada yada you, was more like, what's your background? You're in the Army,
Mhm.
the Navy, the Army.
Army, yeah.
Um,
So I grew up in Vermont, spent most of
but like you went to high school, did the normal thing. Did you
Mhm.
go to college or you go right into the military?
Yeah, after high school, I went to a senior military college, Norwich University in Northfield, Vermont, and was on an Army scholarship. So I ended up enlisting in the National Guard, going to college at the same time. College was paid for by the Army, which is a huge thing. I would have, I don't know why people take on debt to go to college, like,
No.
and so I got a degree in construction engineering management, and it was what interested me and what they had available at the time, and
Elaborate on what that
it
is.
was sort of a combination of like civil engineering
Yeah.
and business management.
Yeah.
So it sort of set you up to be like a project manager type of deal, which interests me absolutely zero. You know,
There's actually like, is it like Chimbro or something that has a lot of them? Is that
yeah,
what I'm thinking of?
yeah.
Is
You know, it's like it's a 6-figure job.
yeah.
You know, if it's nothing that would interest
But
me
it's
at all.
boring.
I just was getting a degree because the Army is paying me to get a degree. I was really just training to go to war. Really, that's all I wanted to do. I was going to go into the Army full time. I chose. It's kind of. I don't want to get bogged down here, but I was in the National Guard, so I was able to train with the National Guard while I was going to college. College was paid for. I decided to commission to the National Guard. I had the option I could go active duty or National Guard. I chose National Guard because at the time, you could choose your branch. That was the only way I could guarantee I could get infantry. Otherwise, if I commissioned to the regular Army, needs of the Army, I could be transportation quartermaster, something I didn't want to
That's
do.
dangerous.
I was infantry.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be in the armed forces, I'm going to be trigger puller. I'm going to be a grunt. I'm a war fighter. I'm not going to do anything else. That's, I'm going to be a soldier. And so I chose National Guard. And then my whole plan was to, after I completed my training on active duty, they had a call to active duty program. So you would just transfer to active duty. So it was like, hey, best of both worlds. I can get the branch that I want guaranteed, but then I can still go active duty. Well, things were starting to wind down, and this was like 2012 timeframe when I was like fully trained at that point, and they terminated the call to active duty program. And I really just wanted to deploy. I really wanted to get into combat, while there was still combat to get to. And so I put myself out there. They had basically you'd submit like you'd apply to go to combat. Basically, is what it was. You'd try to find a unit deploying so you could go with them.
You want to go to combat?
That's all I wanted to do.
Why?
That's all I wanted to do. Since I was a little kid, I wanted to be a commando, soldier, whatever you want to call it.
You
like
wanted to go
yes,
overseas
yes,
and
yes. Fight. Yes.
If it's too personal, you don't have to answer. But was your father involved in the military?
Nope.
No. So it was just a personal.
it was just you wanted to be a soldier.
Correction.
Yeah, my grandfather,
Grandfather.
both of my grandfathers were both World War II veterans, but my grandfather, my mother's side was like career Army, retired Master Sergeant. Never talked about it, but he was involved in like World War II, Korea, and Vietnam.
Held a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, he saw a lot of
Wow.
combat
Yeah.
things. I don't know the details, but it affected him quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can remember like getting a pair of old BDU camo pants when I was a little kid, probably 6 years old, and I put them on and go play in the woods, and I thought like this is like I'm like full on soldier. Like that's what I want to do.
Yep.
Just I guess it's just
Okay, so
I don't have an explanation. It's just what I was
it was what you wanted to do. I mean,
attracted to.
So where'd you go from there? Like, did you go overseas?
I went to Germany for training. I went to Macedonia for training. So I applied, right? I put myself out there like, hey, this is my qualifications, my training, my background, like willing to deploy. And it was at the time frame when things were really drawn down. So now I couldn't go active duty, right? They terminated that program, but there was National Guard units still going, and so I was trying, and I was in the Vermont Guard, and they had just returned from their deployment, so they weren't deployable again.
Yeah.
And they had a rough time. They went to Afghanistan, and they lost some guys and stuff. So they were in it was like a 5-year cycle. So they weren't going to be deployable again for. So I was trying to find another National Guard unit that I could deploy with, and there was like guys like me were like a dime a dozen. They didn't. They had very limited slots. And they'd fill them within their with local. They didn't.
Yeah.
And so and then when you'd find a unit that was deploying, it was to like Western Afghanistan, like where there was nothing going on. Like you'd go there and you'd be.
My cousin just was.
You wouldn't even get into fighting.
Yeah, my cousin Jess was in the Army, and she deployed out to was it Croatia? Well, I may be wrong, but she.
I would say that it was South Korea. I feel like I vaguely remember saying she was at the border between South and North.
No, it was. I think it was It was some Kuwait. Was it Kuwait?
Oh yeah, it was.
Yes. So she deployed out. Yes, Kuwait, and the way she explained it to me, she's like, one day I was like in the cruiser with my guys and my guns, and we're just like patrolling, and then the next day I am weeding grass out from between the cracks of the sidewalk at the base camp. And then it just went like, it was at the point where like they were really needed, and then it was like, go weed the grass, like do something. And then she came back home, but she was overseas for I think a year or two, and she was in the army for a bit. I forgot all about that, but yeah, I it was around that time too, I think, because I was 2012. I was in high school.
Freshman or sophomore.
I was like a freshman or sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was about that time. I don't know, maybe they need people no more.
I was just losing state championships to the.
That's nice. But either or.
Emotionally scarred.
So you basically just got to the point where you couldn't get what you wanted.
Yeah, and
how many years were you involved?
It ended up being 11, so almost 12 years.
No kidding.
And when I finally left the military in 2018, it was just it was like beating my head against a wall. I was getting it, the physical aspect was catching up to me, like in getting injured in training and stuff. I'd broken my back in 2011 in training, and so like
broken vertebrae.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
So is this why we have back issues?
It's part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we could start with that instead of laying on the floor, stretching, grunting. You could have started with that.
Anyway, and I was like, it was kind of just, I was like, felt like I was going nowhere in the military, beating my head against a wall, and I was at the point where like, yeah, you stay in till you can hit 20 years and retire, but I thought, man, if I'm only halfway there, if I get another 10 years of this, like
You're gonna be crippled.
And what is it gonna cost me in the meantime? Like I'm giving up my youth,
irreplaceable time.
Yeah. And like, and it didn't like purpose, right? It felt like there was no purpose. There wasn't like a big mission. A soldier without a purpose, task and purpose and a mission, like that is a recipe for disaster. Like always gotta have a purpose, it's so important. And without like an active, conflict going on to direct your training efforts and everything too, it's so it's not good. You lose your direction. And so it was a choice. Do I continue on this path? And I was very miserable, honestly. And it was like my dog is getting older now, and I obviously enjoy spending time with my dog and doing things in the woods and all that. And it's like, man, I don't even get to, like, I've missed out on so much. I've been chasing foolish things that are getting me nowhere and are making me miserable. So it was just a major decision point. Decided to leave. I'd fulfilled my contractual obligation. I owed the military nothing. I'd actually stayed longer than I had to.
Yeah.
And to pay back, I had to serve a minimum of 8 years to pay off the college, right? So so when like this college
it's free
tuition payment and stuff like like I had 8 years of my life.
Yeah.
I don't like, and it's a choice for getting all that, but like, no, I don't think that anyone should have to pay for anyone else's college. Like,
no,
if you want to go, figure it out.
Yep.
It's not my responsibility or anyone else's responsibility. Like,
yeah, you paid with
it's a scam anyway.
Years of your life.
Yes.
Yeah, you still paid. Nothing in life is free.
No.
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 Not at all. You still paid. You paid with time.
Yeah.
Which is more valuable.
More valuable than money.
Yeah. No, and I had some good experiences. I learned a lot. It taught me a lot, in the military, and it was all I knew for a long time. And
it's weird because like, I mean, obviously we met you from like the internet and your YouTube channel, and that's how we found out who you were. You do not give off a military vibe.
Yeah, well, it's been since 2018, so I've kind of.
Yeah, but still, like, I don't know. Well, it's different branches too. Depends on the branch you're in
It's
with the
yeah.
mentality thing.
I'm also like I sort of had a different. I guess I was sort of unique in my like. I didn't make it my identity. I guess.
Yeah. Yes.
Um, you know.
Seems like a lot of guys do.
They do.
Yes, and then when they do get out, like you still know
That they
like
were
they
in the
look a certain
military.
way.
Yes.
They you can spot them, pick them out of a crowd easy.
Yep.
That's what I'm
Yes,
talking
it's
about.
yes,
Did not
yeah.
know that. Yeah, so I guess what I wrote down is like, what was your transition like? So you got out of the military, and then what was next? Like,
Yes.
my assumption of the research that I have done is you then became a guide.
Yes, so that's where we're getting to. And so I got out and I had in 2016 I had got my guide license and it's because actually the army paid for me to get my guide license.
Huh.
It was like continue.
2016?
Yep.
Oh, same year I did.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And right down there in Augusta.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mine was on my birthday, June 1st of 16.
Cool.
When's your birthday, Cory?
Moving on.
One of the 365 days of the year.
Yes.
We'll get
Unless he's a leap year baby and it's
I'm just gonna make up a random
February
date,
20.
and he's gonna get like a present. It says happy birthday. It could be today. Are we celebrating your birthday this
What
weekend?
is today, actually?
the 24th.
Is it the 4th? Tomorrow is Gracie's birthday.
Yes, 24th.
Tomorrow's Gracie's
birthday.
Should we
He's definitely getting some steak tomorrow night.
yeah, we are
having
having
steak tomorrow.
literally are, so
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Okay, all right. Gracie's birthday is
We gotta
tomorrow.
stick a candle in it. Sing
25th.
happy birthday.
My dad's birthday
Is she gonna be 13?
12.
She's gonna be 12. Okay.
Don't overreach her.
Yeah.
Sorry.
She's gonna be like 6.
She's doing spectacular.
Yes, she's a very healthy dog.
Yeah, she's been a blessing. I'm very thankful.
We know.
Do you know?
I was so stressed
I
out.
need to make sure you know.
No, I know that dog
I
means
need the world to know.
absolutely everything
Dog
to you
needs-
because I had to babysit this dog,
Yeah.
and I made sure she was breathing every hour. I'm not even joking you. Like we're sitting there, and I'm like, she's breathing, guys, right? Live? Yep. Good.
You guys.
This
you
is
guys
the celebrity.
cuddled all night.
Yeah.
All night. I held on to that dog.
Yeah.
Well, when I came to get her in the morning, she was in bed with Keenan.
Yeah. And she was not. She did not want to get up. Well, I wake up to feed her when she wants to be fed,
Mm-hmm.
and I get a text from her father at 2 a.m. and I'm like, well, you're gonna come get this dog early. I know it. And we all fall back asleep. And like we all fell back asleep.
We stayed up and watched Lost on a Mountain in Maine.
Yeah.
We stayed up late.
We were up till like midnight. But yeah, and then I get a text from Cory that he's coming to get the dog, but I didn't see it until at the point where I'm like, he's probably sitting outside waiting for this dog. And then I like walk out of the bedroom and I look and there he is. And I'm like, you can't have her yet. Like, what the heck? Yeah, I just crawled out of bed. But yeah.
She's a purebred good girl.
She is a purebred good girl.
Great dog.
My mom was like, well, you can watch her anytime. Which is rare.
She does get a little sassy.
But we love it.
Yeah.
It's a good sassy.
Yeah. She's just, she's hound dogging for food.
She's a woman.
You guys get hangry.
Yes.
So
yeah. So
I got my guide license.
You got your guide's license.
And because I was training cadets, and it was part of the Army pays for like continuing education and courses and stuff outside of just what the military offers. It's a great thing. It's a really great thing. And so I had that, and anyway, leaving the military, my plan was to just start a guide service and guide, just so I could work for myself, work outside doing what I like to do, bring my dog with me, and sort of mentor people in the way that a guide does, like have that influence. I think that's important to just going back to purpose, like,
Yep.
You're impacting others in a positive way.
Yep.
You were like,
passing down a
Yeah.
useful skill and knowledge that
You're not just making widgets on an assembly line, like you're actually connecting with people.
Yep.
And
you're still doing that in a way today.
yeah,
I know we
more
hate the
than I
word. We hate the word influencer.
yeah.
We use the word content creator, but it's the same thing. You're influencing somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were
It's a
you were
heavy
doing
responsibility.
yes.
I don't take it lightly.
No. I'm not there yet. I don't
Hmm.
heavily influence
I
yet.
mean, some of the feedback that I've gotten is very deep. Like, and when people put that stuff on you, you're like, wow, this is.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten that where people are like, please keep doing this, and I do this because of you, and it's like, don't do things because of me.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna kill yourself, or
Mhm.
like, you like, don't put that responsibility on me.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just sitting at home on your couch watching a video of Keenan and I doing something I don't know. But like, there's other things like the way that you cut up your cusk, which Cory hasn't got to fully witness yet and learn.
hopefully on the next track
Yeah.
check we get
Yeah, but like I've put that in a couple videos of you doing that, and I've had people come in the gate and be like, "That's the only way I cut up a cusk now. Like that's so simple. You're like tubing it," and I'm like,
yeah, tube skin it.
"Cool,"
Yeah.
but like don't solely rely on anything that comes out of my mouth, please.
Just give you the what's worked best and what experiences we've had.
Yeah, like the old man trying to drive to Allagash Lake when I never said that there's a boat
Mhm.
launch. But now you put your life in danger because you like broke down flat tire on the side of T-Loss Road trying to find the boat launch to Allagash Lake because you watched some young girl catch a nice fish.
Mhm.
And it's like nowhere in that video did I say you can drive to Allagash Lake. Like we paddled in.
It's the problem with
So yeah, there's like direct influence and then there's like just out there in the open influence, like media stuff you take in and you don't know if it's true.
well, I mean, it's just the problem is that people make an idol out of.
Yeah.
Idol worship is a bad thing. They want to make an idol out of these people that they find on YouTube or
Yes.
a celebrity in Hollywood or something, and you should never do that.
No.
And that's where the problem lies. And then you look at on like in mainstream um, media, I'll say, including Hollywood. What are the influences? Look like professional athletes and stuff. I mean, scumbag dirtbags,
Yeah.
terrible, terrible, and that's the influence. So to be able to be or try to be a positive influence.
Yes. Like like real, authentic.
Yeah.
Nobody's telling you what you can.
And that's the beauty of YouTube
Yes.
is real people in real life doing real things.
Yes.
For the most part, there's
like there's YouTubers that I would consider a celebrity over an actual celebrity. Like there could be somebody that's in a popular movie walking down the road, but I could see like Kara and Nate and lose my mind. I don't know. It's like a weird thing.
I do find it crazy that people idolize someone whose profession is pretending for a living.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
like
a very good way to say
That's what I'm
it.
trying to say.
It blows my mind.
Like somebody's in a movie and acts, and you're
And good
like,
for you. You got a skill. Like it
Yeah.
takes some skill to be able to do that, but
you're in
should
love with the
idolize someone
character,
who
not
can
the person.
pretend for a living.
Yeah.
He's like, you're really good at pretending. Yeah, I totally believe that you were in this situation and you felt those emotions, and I can connect
Yeah.
or relate, but you shouldn't idolize that person because of that.
No, they're gonna
There are
play
some-
a different role next week.
There are some people that are actors and have level heads and even say it. They're like, we have an easy job.
Yeah.
Like acting, there's nothing hard about acting. Send your kid to war. That's hard.
Yeah.
Acting is not hard. We have it made.
Yep.
And then there's actors.
It does take a skill to be.
I am the greatest thing on the planet because I'm the best actor and I'm so better than everyone else.
I can read the words and put on a facial expression in front of a bunch of cameras.
Right.
Or you can go out and sleep in the cold and make your own shelter.
Who does that?
Who does that? I mean,
That's the beauty of YouTube, though. It has really changed the media aspect of.
yeah, like I'd go on YouTube and look for something before I type it in on Google.
And the other thing is like I don't. It's not a how-to channel. I don't make how-to videos.
No, it's pure.
I show this is how I'm doing something.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's the way or even the right way. It's just the way I did it at the time. Yeah, I probably learned a lot of better ways to do it after I made the video.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like
there's some videos where I'm like, man, I wish I just waited like a month, and then I could have made that so much better because I figured out this,
Yeah.
and this. But it's a learning curve.
Yeah,
Like bad. Like you said, you go back and watch all these videos that you've put and you're like, this is garbage.
Mhm.
I'm like embarrassed. Like I want to delete them all and like get to the point where I'm like feel comfortable, but I'm like, no, because the channel's going to continue to grow, hopefully. And then you're really going to look back on that. And it's instead of being like embarrassed, it's going to be like memories. Like, remember when we canned our
part of the
meat?
process.
My first YouTube video is canning bear meat.
It's important to be able to reflect on where you came from, where you started.
Yes. Especially with everything that's going on this
on how far
past year.
How much work was put into where you are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, 2024, everything I was able to film, we're going to look back on that, I hope, the end of this year and be like, wow, like wow, moved a house.
Yeah, I can tell it hasn't fully set in yet.
No, not at all.
That was a big deal.
We haven't
like,
fully
really
processed
big deal
that at all.
It wasn't just physically moving your cabin that you've been building from hand. It was everything else and the reason why you had to do that. So there was a lot. It'd probably take you guys a long time to unpack that.
Yeah, that's.
But like I think you're
When
on
we
the right
fully
track and
process it'll be probably like a podcast episode to
Mhm.
really go through, but it's still weird to me.
I think you're better off, and I think the like icing on the cake was that buck you shot this fall.
Yeah,
Right?
me too.
Yeah, that was really cool. And I don't know, it's kind of cool that it was like broken horn, older deer.
No, it was really cool that it was right. It was our property.
Yeah,
Like we
right behind our property.
buy this property and scout it, deer galore. And
Spectacular.
find fresh sign. And I already found that. I don't want to take credit, but I already found that area.
General area.
I found the general area. I really liked it because you kind of like, it was just like a tiny downhill slope. And it was just very open, and it was all old skidder trails that had grown in. So like deer could come from any direction. You have all the shooting lanes
And
in the world.
they weren't. It wasn't old. It was a year and a half.
Yeah, it's not as thick as what we're used to. I feel like it was. I don't know. It was just very open to me.
Yeah, it was. Definitely not old skidder trails. They're new. As far as skidder trails go, a year and a half is young.
Yeah,
young
but
trails.
just like what it looked like. I'm like, I could shoot a deer here.
It's open.
didn't.
There's a lot of.
Tried.
You almost did.
I almost did.
They were eating in there heavily. I mean, like every raspberry bush you went to, the
it's
was
packed.
all gone, snipped off, not falling off dead, but like eaten off.
Yeah.
Like, man, this is great. And then tracks, rubs, couple ground scrapes. It's like, wow, there's a lot going on here.
When he called me, because he said he was gonna go sit, and it was like an hour and a half. I'm in Canada, and he video chats me, which we normally like just call. So when he's videoing, I'm like, he shot a deer, and it like finally loads, and he's like, "Hun," and I'm like, "You shot a deer. You should flip it around. Flip it around." Yeah, I think it was like, I love karma, and it brings me back to the conversation we had earlier, but like the universe and karma, and like that was like, karma was being like, here you go, you've been through a lot. Here's a 200-pound buck, 208-pound buck. Right,
Count all those pounds.
right, easy drag out, right behind the property we just bought that we've been busting.
So I hunted an hour and like 45 minutes.
Yeah, you sat for an
I had
hour.
only hunted 2 other days. I think I had a total of like 6 hours hunting the whole season.
Yeah.
I just obviously
I had way more than that.
preoccupied with other things.
Way more.
Yeah, but And there's been years where, I mean, 6 days a week, especially, in the Katahdin Mountain region, way less deer.
Yeah, zone 4.
6 days a week, 3 weeks straight, and not see anything bigger than a small six, crotchy with browse. And then to, go to a different area where there's an abundance of deer and then just immediately
I
have
feel
a
like
nice buck, be able to find the amount of sign was just astronomical.
I
We're
feel
used to just moose.
yeah, I feel like we
Moose,
had the
moose.
upper hand a little bit because we didn't even know what we were going into, but we were also like so equipped to zone 4 deer hunting in Maine, where you're like you're not going to see a deer for a week. You're lucky if you see a deer for a week, and if it's a big buck, then you're like it's a rare
Unless you have snow.
unless you have snow and you can track. And the deer were coming back quite good in zone
Thanks
4.
to the light winters.
Like I tracked over 60 miles in 22 days and I saw 10 deer and that was phenomenal.
23.
23.
Yeah.
Yes. Did I say last year? Well, it's the same gist. Don't touch it. You touching? Are you tapping it? We got to keep Cory talking
And we're
because
back.
he yeah, because he's tired.
There's-
Okay, so this was one of my questions. Was you got into the guiding thing?
Uh-huh.
What was your connection with like Jake and Lisa and Tyler Kelly? Because weren't you a guide for Tyler Kelly camps?
I did guide for Sue and Wade
Yeah.
of Tyler Kelly camps.
What? How did you meet them or know them?
Um,
Is that what brought you
well,
to Maine?
no.
No, you just liked Maine.
So my father's from Maine originally. His parents and grandparents and his grandparents, so my great grandparents were from Allagash.
Oh.
So they had a house in Allagash. And when I was a kid, we went up there to Allagash.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
That was my missing link.
So I think the first time I went there as 14 probably, and I think that fall, maybe when I was 15, I went back and we deer hunted. And then so I had that connection. And then when I got Gracie in 2013, and I started training with her to look for moose antlers, that's when we started making trips back to Maine, back to Allagash,
Yeah.
to go shed hunting and just being up there. It's a small community.
Yeah.
And everybody knows everybody.
And you were a guy.
For better or worse.
Yes. And they were like,
And
we need a guy.
yes, and so yeah, I can't. I honestly I can't even remember how I met Wade. But he knew me and he had asked me to guide for him one fall, so I guided for him, and
Was that?
been great friends.
Yeah. So that was when you met.
Moose, yeah.
Yeah. So that's when you met Jake.
Yeah, through that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Jake is like I call him the brother I always wanted.
Yeah.
He's more of a brother to me than I've ever had. Probably don't want him to know that, but
We're live.
About putting that responsibility on somebody. He probably knows, but
I'm sure he understands by the way you look.
So you don't have any brothers.
I have a older brother and a sister, but I don't have the connection with them.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, like, yeah, Jake's more of a brother than I've ever had.
Yeah.
And
the way you talk about him, we know. So I'm sure he knows.
Mhm.
Because, yeah. I mean, I just know all these people from social media. So
yeah, you talk about timing, like, Keenan mentioned in a previous conversation, like, obviously you guys are together, you've been together a while, but you said like you're glad the timing, you met her when you did, and you didn't meet her sooner.
Yeah.
yeah, it
Right.
would have been bad.
Because you were different people probably or something, but
Very
you know,
difficult.
what about Jake? Like, man, we have a lot of fun trips together and stuff, but man, if I knew him when I was younger, maybe we would have gotten in a lot of trouble. I don't know. You know?
Back before Cory was, I don't know, different Cory. What I've learned is there was like a break in a Cory where you decided that it was, I don't know how to explain it. This is what I've taken from the weekend where you've been like, I used to be like that, but now I'm not. So at some point there was like a crossover where you were like, I am not that person anymore.
Did you come to that realization just on your own? Was it an event? Was it just you?
Are we getting
you sitting down?
We're getting
looking at the bigger picture that kind of did it.
I guess I haven't
figured it out yet.
Yes.
It's not right there in front of you.
Yeah, I
So one of my questions was like was it, I don't know how to word it. I jotted down random stuff, but like we all, well, for people that know and watch your content, we know you're a man of faith.
I think I know what it is, but I'm not ready to talk about it yet.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, but what you
like my question is like, have you always, like, has religion always been a thing in your life as a younger kid?
So I don't consider myself religious.
What do you consider yourself?
I consider myself
faithful,
a man of faith.
A man of faith. That's what I wrote down.
Absolutely.
Okay. So has that always been a thing? Like your whole upbringing? Or was there a time where you were like, I think I need to go this way?
The best way to
answer. And you grabbed it. And it made you a different person than what you used to be.
Yeah, so I was raised
thinking he's really tired.
I know. It's true.
And that's ripping.
No, that's a good question, and I haven't, and I'm gonna answer it, and as I should, and I'm gonna try to quote scripture, which I'm really tired right now, so I might not do it justice, but I believe it's in one of the books of Peter where he says, but sanctify the Lord God in your hearts and be ready always to give an answer to every man who asks a reason of the hope that is in you. Like you're supposed to be ready to answer that question, basically. And I got saved when I was 6 years old, and that's that. Do you know what I mean by when I say that? The Bible says you're either saved or you're lost. You're talking about your soul.
Why 6?
6 years old is just when I came to the knowledge that, like, I am a sinner. Like, I had no doubt.
At 6 years old.
Absolutely.
Okay, well then I understand what you're saying, but I don't understand how at 6 years old.
It's different for everybody, right?
Yeah.
But there is like kind of an age of accountability that you become aware that that you're a sinner.
Of your bad habits.
Consequences.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's different for everybody. You can't say it's always at this age or there. But I knew without a shadow of a doubt, and I knew enough that I accepted Christ as my Savior at that time. The Bible says I was born again. And a lot of these things, it sounds funny, right? People hear that and what's this guy talking about, And
I think people are uneducated in it. So it, like in my experience with like religion, Bible, church, that stuff, I was traumatized because it was not what I believed. And I didn't even know what the belief was because I had a friend in 4th grade and I got forced to go to church if I spent the night on Saturday night, and she was a Mormon, which is nothing close to what I would have even grown up with around here. They came straight from Utah. Like, so I got a little freaked out with it all. And then I lost a lot of people in a very short amount of time. And my mom is a churchgoer here and there. I think it helps her sleep at night, honestly. But like, it became like to the point where I'm like, am I going to see these people again? And like my family that I've lost are like my best family. So it's like I need to see them again. So then I have to believe that I'm going to see them again. So I don't, it's like a spiritual, like My grandmother is a ladybug. My Uncle Chet is a dragonfly. My grandfather is a cardinal. Like my grandmother is a robin, and they all have like their certain things. And if I see them, then it's them. I don't know if it's like a reincarnation thing, you come back as an animal thing, but like the day my Uncle Chet passed away, he was getting his fingerprints done in Bangor. We came back to the campground. I got in the kayak and I went across the lake, and a dragonfly followed me the whole way. And I'm like, that's my Uncle Chet. And that's when I started to be like, I have to believe there's something bigger out there so that I can sleep at night. I don't know.
Mhm.
Like,
You're getting emotional.
yeah, I am. But I forget where we were going with the question.
Yeah, the question is about faith, and it takes faith to believe in something that you can't see, right? And the Bible defines faith as the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And my faith is in Jesus Christ. And like you have to have faith in something. It takes faith to believe anything.
Mm.
And going back to what I said earlier, like, who am I? How did I get here? Why am I here? Where am I going when I die?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Where are you going when you die? Where are you going to spend eternity? Eternity is a long time. That's there's answers to these questions. Seeking truth in God's word, and we are supposed to know the answers to these questions. We're not,
But we don't because
we're lost.
we're lost. That's right. That's exactly right.
it's a good answer.
You know,
I'm still 22. I'm
it starts off with,
lost back in time.
It's a great illustration, but you start up, you got the greatest book ever written. You got the Bible, right? And the Bible, most misunderstood book there ever is, right? And the Bible's been used and weaponized in so many different ways.
I've never read it.
Most people haven't.
I think the most I've ever heard it or read it is when I had to sit through church with my friend in 4th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So no knowledge there at all. But intriguing. Like we've talked about how there are things within the Bible that hold true. Like there's facts. And everybody looks at it as like a story or like I don't know, when I was it's so bad, but like when I was that junky little obnoxious teenager that was just thought she was invincible and did no wrong and she could do whatever she wanted, like sophomore, junior year of high school, like, and you had Facebook, MySpace account, whatever. I was an atheist, is what I would always say, and I didn't believe in any of it. And I would say that the Bible was just like a book that people needed to read to get to make their life feel better. I don't even know. Like no knowledge, no education, nothing at all on it. And then my mom lost her mom. I lost my grandmother, and I went down that rabbit hole of like there were signs of things that I'm like it's right there in front of you. I don't know. I can't explain it because it was like in the moment, but then I lost my other grandmother, and then I lost my grandfather, and then I lost my uncle, and then I lost my other uncle, and then I lost another uncle, and then I lost a cousin, and then I lost an aunt, and in like 4 years. And it was like, what? Like I couldn't sleep at night. And then I was like, I went like that spiritual.
It's really your moment of
realization that life is short.
Yeah.
I think is what I'm trying to get to. So sitting there and being like a brat and being like, don't believe in anything.
See, I always, not growing up religious, but my view on it was I was never an atheist. I was always an agnostic because I didn't know enough myself to say there's not. So I was always I'm agnostic, as in I don't know if there is or there isn't. but I just know things are right or wrong, and I try not to do the wrong things. And yeah, religion was never really like I don't know any of the Bible, not a bit of it.
Mm.
Yet I do believe through what research I have done that I believe there's better chance that there's a creator than not a creator. Just off the fact that, uh, every compound of plants are not only compatible with our bodies, but do specific things to improve our bodies.
Yeah.
It was like it was put here for a reason.
Everything was put here for a reason. If we didn't have modern technology, if like the lab grown, all that stuff, if we were just dropped on this earth like we were however long ago, we would be able to survive and sustain and reproduce. They were
Yeah, I guess the biggest
which is a male
It's
and a female.
go ahead.
I guess the biggest thing that makes me really believe in, like, I mean, we talked about it earlier. I mentioned it earlier about, you know, if there's no God, then where does right and wrong come from?
Mm-hmm. Morals.
Morals.
Yeah, yeah. Where would morals be
Right.
coming from? Like,
'Cause, you know,
then
if
why not just kill?
If the lion kills, does he feel guilty about it? Does nature punish him for it? No.
No.
We don't know that.
Do we know it's wrong to murder?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. But
I feel like we're born.
Does the animal kingdom pay taxes?
I want to be part of the animal kingdom.
Right. Hey, why is
the gorilla though?
why is
So
man the only animal, if he's so superior, why is the only animal that can't grow his own clothes on his back?
Yeah.
It's the only one.
Yeah.
How do you explain that?
Can't.
You can't.
So it's funny, like, you know, because I've had conversations similar to this with people like don't know the Bible at all, right? Just totally and ignorant of what the Bible says, and that's understandable. And then like what you're saying, I'm like, man, what they're saying is in line with what the Bible. Like they know it's because
Like we know
truth is
we never read
yes,
it.
truth is truth. It's like okay, so that's where I was going with this. You know, the book, they'd say it's a religious book. It's not a religious book. It's a history book.
Yes.
It starts with in the beginning.
That's what I mean. Like people would say it was like a story, but it's not. It's history. Like there's fiction and non-fiction.
What is history? His story. Who's the his story? It's the story of, and that's the thing with the Bible, right? What is the Bible? Oh, well, it's a love story. Oh, it's this, it's that. The main theme of the Bible is a king setting up his kingdom. So when you say history, his story is the story of Jesus Christ. He starts with in the beginning God, and God creates heaven and earth, right? In 6 days. And he creates the whole thing. And he creates man on the sixth day. That's why the numbers and numerology is really important.
Yeah.
But 6 days, seventh day he rested. 7 day was in a week. There's no like astrological. Forgive me if I'm using the wrong word there. It sounded weird when I said it. It's something I want to. Anyway, there's no way to explain a 7-day work week. It's not like it has nothing to do with astronomy or anything like that. It's biblical. That's where it came up. They've tried to do 5-day work weeks and weeks, and it doesn't work out.
No.
It's 7 because 7's a complete number. 7's something that's complete.
It's been that for forever.
Yes.
7 days in a week.
Yes, but like 24 hours a day and all these other things you can explain with rotations of the earth and things.
Yeah, like the.
You understand? I'm doing a really terrible job explaining that.
We used to make them when we were kids. So you have like the round thing, and you point it north, and it tells you what time it is. Like the sun.
A sundial.
Yeah.
Yes.
We used to play with those all the time, but like that tells you what time it is. I used to be able to do that in field hockey practice. Because everyone's like, Emily knows where north is because I could tell the time, and my shadow would be like, we're almost out of practice.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's.
So it gets better. So God creates man, right? Adam, and out of the dust of the earth, right? Clay, and he breathes into Adam the breath of life, and it says man became a living soul. So when God made Adam, right? He said, "Let us make man in our image." Let us. So who was God talking to? People will say he was talking to angels. That's not true. We're not made in image of angels. We're made in the image of God. Adam was anyway. Let us. So who's the let us? Well, God is God, but there's three is like in three parts. There's God, there's the Holy Spirit, there's Jesus Christ. There's a body, soul, spirit. Man, Adam was made body, soul, spirit. Is a triune being, right? So Adam was made in the image of God. He was a living soul, right? And then it said that it's not good that for man to be alone, and that's when I'm getting ahead of myself. Before that, Adam, the whole animal kingdom. Adam named the whole animal kingdom. So there was perfect harmony with nature when God made man. There was no wars, death, dying, disease, none of that. It was all perfect harmony. Like go up to a
Like what
polar bear and scratch his ears.
Yeah, like we
Yes,
could
and like perfect harmony. And he was placed in a garden for food, eat everything, except for the only rule: one tree. Don't eat of that tree. So when he said we saw Adam, it's not good. He should be alone. He puts Adam. This is where it gets interesting, and this is
I'm very intrigued.
So-
honestly, like
he puts Adam to sleep, and that's like every medical doctor knows that. And you're going to perform a major surgical procedure, you're going to induce
coma, sleep.
coma. Yeah, there's another word, but yeah, you're going to go into the night. So he puts Adam to sleep. So Adam's sleeping when his soulmate, right? Eve is made, so he's dreaming, right?
Yeah.
We all like to say, "Oh, it's the girl of our dreams." What is he dreaming about? He's obviously dreaming about that while this is going on, and God takes a rib from Adam. Right, where's the rib? Right next to your heart. So he takes his rib right from Adam's heart. Feels like he's getting his heart ripped out of his chest. So you think this stuff is all made up, like it comes from nowhere. This is all in the Bible, right?
Yeah.
Heartache, heartbreak, like
Yes.
guy loses, it's like he's getting his heart ripped out and stuff, and he makes Eve, right, from Adam, and when Adam sees it, he says, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, like, that's the way it feels, but you got man who's made from dirt, literally. What kind of environment? Like, we are perfectly comfortable in the dirt.
Are you?
Dirty, filthy environment. A woman came from a sterile, clean, surgical environment. There's nothing more sterile than the inside of the human body. I mean,
How dirty am I? I'm a dirty person.
do women in
Yes. No.
so you've got two different natures.
As like a nurturer.
No, I mean cleanliness. Just like men is perfectly fine. Like there's was made from a clean, sterile environment. Like there's like two different things there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I 1000% agree with that.
And so Adam wakes up and he's like, whoa, man, like woman, whoa,
Beautiful.
most beautiful woman he's ever seen. Most beautiful woman in the world. She's also the only one. And they've got,
technically speaking, it'd be the most beautiful and the ugliest.
Yeah.
Yes, there's no comparison yet. Yeah. That's what Billy would say.
And you've got these complete human beings, body, soul, spirit, live forever. They had perfect fellowship with God. They walked with God in the garden. They no clothes. They had no need for clothes, right? And eat whatever they want. Perfect temperature, perfect environment. Nothing to worry about. No mosquitoes.
I don't want to put any blame on the women.
We got
who ate the apple.
That's the next thing, and you knew that was coming.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting for it.
It was probably not an apple. It was probably a grape, because grapes produce wine. Wine's a type of blood, and it's not
been great.
It's always depicted as an apple. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But
like, this is my thing: is everybody knows the story, or the
Eve, the rough outline of the story.
Eve ate the apple, but what's like the bigger picture here? Like, you've been proving the bigger picture. So what's the big, like, did she sin?
That was sin. Yeah, Eve sinned, but God doesn't even hold her accountable for that sin because she was deceived by the serpent, the type of the devil. Adam knew. So here's where it really gets interesting. Adam knew what he was doing when he went and he took of that fruit. Yeah, his wife gave it to him, but he knew. Here's the thing: Adam is a type of Christ, as in a picture or like an example of exemplifies a trait of Jesus Christ. So
It was still Adam's fault.
it was Adam's fault, and God held the man accountable for that. But when he was deceived, and then she goes and Adam sins. They end up sinning when they disobeyed God and they ate of the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Now their eyes were opened, it said. Now they had knowledge of good and evil, right? And that knowledge, when you become aware of that, before that you're innocent. Like a child that doesn't know, you're innocent. You're not, and there's a point in your life when you become aware and you're now going to be held accountable for that. And there is a solution to that, and that again was the point of Jesus Christ. But get into that later. But so Adam was willing to die for this woman. Now Adam had other ribs. Could God have made him another wife? Absolutely no. Adam said, "No, I am willing to die." Like God looked at that, said, "You're willing to die for her." That's a picture of Christ dying for us. Yeah. God said, "You don't eat of that tree because the day you eat of it, you're going to die." The serpent is the one tricked Eve and said, "No, you're not going to die." She ate it. Did she die? Not physically. No, but now spiritually dead. Adam dead. Spiritually. Yeah. Now, what happens without a spirit? You're dead. You're a lost soul. Yeah. A lost soul goes to hell. So you must be born again, born of the Spirit. You're born once physically. You got to be born again spiritually by accepting Jesus Christ as your Savior. The only thing to do about it is figure out where you're going after this, because it gets a lot better if you're going to the right place.
We're getting deep.
It is deep.
My brain is churning.
It is deep. It is ripping hot in here.
Wicked hot.
Like, it is ripping hot. Like, I'm sweating. No, this is
button down those bottom bits.
What an important thing to talk about, though. There's nothing more important,
I think it's the one thing that's intrigued Keenan and I about you is that like nobody openly talks to not that we know, but like it's not something that's openly talked about.
I'm so humbled by this. Like, honestly, I feel like humbled is a good way to put it. I'm like, man, wow. Because yes, I am a man of faith. Like I said, I've trusted Christ as my Savior. I've been born again. I know without a shadow of a doubt that when I pass from this world, that I'm going to heaven. I've no doubt in my mind. I've never feared death. Maybe the process, because the process could suck a little bit.
Yeah,
but like, can I conclude one thought on this?
Sorry.
So, like I said, Adam was a type of Jesus Christ. So then, Adam sinned, and then everyone came after him was sinners. So the world needed a savior, needed a perfect, sinless man to die for our sins. But how can you get that if we're all sinners? That's where you've got the miraculous virgin birth of Christ, where he had no earthly father, and because yes, he came from a woman, right? But remember, the woman Eve was deceived. She was not held accountable. It was the man that was held accountable for the sins. He had the knowledge. He knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was not deceived. He did that. He willingly did that. So that's where God miraculously, through the Virgin Mary, which, God bless her, wasn't what they make her out to be. She was a human being, and he just chose her to be the vessel, and Christ was born that way, and he totally circumvented. So Jesus Christ is called the last Adam, the last perfect man, sinless, and he is the only one that lived a sinless life without sin. So when his blood was shed, that was the payment. That because he did, and he died and paid for our sins so that we don't have to. It's a choice. People go, well, why would a loving God send anyone to hell? A loving God sent his son into the world to die in our place so that we don't have to go to hell. And you know, that's the gospel. The gospel means good news. You say, what's the good news? The good news is Christ died for sinners. That's deep.
It's deep.
And I'm not like here trying to like convert you or convince you or anything. I'm just like, and again, don't take my word for it. You can say, I agree, I don't agree. Is he making this up? Does this Bible actually say this? I don't know. It's everyone has their own personal journey here. A journey is a good way to put it, to find that truth. And I don't believe it's not like my truth, your truth, your truth. Truth is truth, and we all need to find the truth, whatever it is.
Yeah. I think
And
growing up, we celebrate a ton of holidays, and we see these holidays as time to like have off of work or buy a bunch of gifts. But
Is it correct or not that Christ's birthday is nowhere near December
25th?
Like stuff like that. Like
I
that's
don't think it is. I think the calendar's all whacked out.
Yeah.
I don't hold me to that.
Yeah, no, we know about some of these stories because of holidays, but then it gets lost. Like Easter
Mhm.
became about the bunny rabbit in the eggs. Where did that come from?
There's a lot of stuff that today is like even the wedding ring. The wedding ring and the big diamond wasn't a thing until people wanted to market more money. So it was like,
Yeah,
all right,
and
let's
they
throw
but they
diamonds on there.
marketed it as a circle. A circle never ends. It's like a forever love thing. Great marketing, whatever. But like the holidays are the only reason I know about any of this stuff, which is strange to me because I don't know. I feel like we should know about this, but then they do like the separation between like religion and
Don't call it Christmas. God forbid you call it Christmas.
yeah, like if you
Don't yeah, that's what don't call it. Make it happy holidays.
Happy holidays,
Yeah.
and that's like
Why they want to get rid of Christ?
yeah, like it's strange. Like we've
Want to go into that? I can.
The reason that there's Christmas is because of this, and now it's like Black Friday shopping, making sure you get someone the most expensive, best gift. Like, where did that come from?
Yeah, God. Yeah, Christ was the gift.
Yeah.
It's the gift of God.
And now it's like a greedy.
There's a lot of if you really break it down, with even to get through all the paganisms of it, but like a candy cane was like a shepherd's staff.
Yeah.
Red and white stripes.
Yeah.
Like blood and all that, and
Santa.
Yeah, think about Santa. All right, Santa. Rearrange those letters. What's that spell?
Satan.
Okay, so there's a lot of, and like the other thing is Santa is Spanish, right?
He's evil overseas.
In Spanish has its genders with the words.
Yeah.
Santa is the designation for what? A female saint.
Yeah.
Why are they calling a male dude, giving him a female name? It should be son.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
That one goes real deep, and I'm not like versed on it enough to get into it. But it is. He's an imitator. He's an imposter. He's trying to take the attention off of Christ.
Yeah.
With this fat old creepy dude, he sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. That's
down your chimney. Like
he can be everywhere in the world at the same time.
Yeah, and but
you gotta. I don't want to get in there. You got a guy who's trying to imitate somebody he's not.
Yeah.
In an evil way, and they've done that with the Easter Bunny. They've done with everything, and they're trying.
No, and it's strange to me because when I was young, it was you learned like stuff I can't even remember now. Like Christmas, you had the. I know I.
Gracie just cooked up an air biscuit, and it's
trying to.
it's blistering my nose. You've been feeding her hot dogs.
The hot dogs. Yeah, long story short, we could talk about this all night because there's a lot of facts and
Yes.
information that goes into it. But yeah, no, it's like I'm at the point where it's like I'm gonna have a kid and get to that point where they're of that age for Christmas, and it's like,
What do you teach them?
what do I teach them?
The truth.
It's like,
Always go with the truth. The
but
truth. It's never wrong to tell the truth.
then my kid is gonna get old, and
like
Christmas isn't even gonna be about like Jesus Christ or religion or
Mhm.
anything anymore. It's going to be about presents.
Mhm.
And that, I mean, that's where we're at now.
Mhm.
Like they've put that right to the side and they're like, let's market it.
Mhm.
I don't, it's
like Jordan Peterson says, it's like, tell the truth, at the very least, don't lie.
yeah.
I love
I wish I'd known a lot of these things sooner,
Yeah. I think that's why I'm intrigued by it. And like the Maine Woods came into our life because we found him in our woods, finding our sheds. And
So literally
literally in our
I
woods.
forgot about that, actually, when
That's when we first met you.
you said we met you online. Like, no, we knew of each other online. Just like,
Yeah,
I remember. We literally ran into each other in the woods.
Found you in the. Well, I found your dog.
You didn't look happy about it.
Well, because we turned around, I'm like, that's Gracie. We're driving down this road, and we drive down, and I'm like, there's somebody down here. Like, I kind of got like the hair stood up on the like. What the heck? Like the gate's shut. We can't get out of here fast. Somebody's gotta get out and open the gate. This person's gonna come after us. And so we like pull by the truck and back up, and I look over and I'm like, that's Gracie. And everybody knows Gracie.
Yeah.
I'm like, Keenan, that's Gracie. That's good girl Gracie. and and we're like, okay, well we're like hopefully, Cory's not dead out in the woods. We'll smell him later. Maybe check on see if like I'll take the dog. And then here comes Cory just running out of the woods. And I'm like,
Making sure we weren't stealing Gracie.
Is that what it was? You heard the vehicle and you were like, my dog.
Were you a little on edge, like you didn't know if you could be there because there was a gate, even though it wasn't locked?
No.
We were.
No, it wasn't.
There's no legal bound.
I really wasn't. Like, I'm if I think I'm doing something wrong, I'm not gonna do it. But I literally was like, oh, fair game.
No, it is.
It
It's
is.
just to
It
kind
is.
of
There's no posted
hear.
signs.
Like,
it's not locked.
Yeah, if I went around the other side, like that's clearly marked. You know what I'm talking about? If you went on like the back of that road going in, that has, I believe, like don't go.
That's us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where our gate is. It says like black hat hunting, will shoot you. It was our road. Yeah, there's a stop sign. There's a gate across the road.
No, that was a good area that did well, but
Stay at yeah. Well, I don't care if you go there now. All the power to you. But yeah, so we see Cory running out, and I'm like, there's Mister the Maine Woods himself with his dog stuck in the truck, finding my bone. Yeah, I forgot where I was even going with this, but
yeah, going back to what you were saying, like you're talking about starting a family, having children, and things, and that was the original. When God made Adam and Eve, it said, "Man, woman, be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth." Like that was everything. Be fruitful and multiply, and that's always a good thing. And nowadays, you got a society that is preaching that the world is overpopulated and it's bad for the climate and the environment. So like a reduction in that, and it's a bad thing to have like kids getting pregnant. That is a negative consequence of an action where it's like, no, that is the point of that
action.
Yes,
literally the sole purpose.
Literally,
yes,
and it's supposed to be a great thing and all of that, but it's been like everything in life, the world has distorted it
the world has
into a
been the
sinful way.
biggest sinners that I've like. I don't know.
Yes.
Like I don't want to bring a child into this world.
That's the other. So
and I know it's bad because I can make the child life what the child's life needs to be, but I also have to hide just plain as day what's in front of us. The water's poisoned, the air's poisoned, like the food is poisoned. They want to stab my child with a million vaccines, and I'm going to be judged if I say no. And like I've watched stuff as a woman where it's a lot healthier on the woman and the child to do home births. You weren't meant to have a child in a hospital. It's bacteria and
Imagine
disease
that.
and sickness.
Imagine that.
And in these women will do home births and like their tubs or whatnot, and they talk about this
Mhm.
like euphoria that they feel after they give birth,
Mhm.
where it's like the most quieting, relaxing time, and they're able to like release these
Yeah.
hormones that it's like before they give birth that the baby then takes on, so that it's like the baby is calm at birth or
Mhm.
yeah, like there's a lot that goes into it, and
Mhm.
it's like I need drugs for that. I can't just push out a baby in the bathtub.
I
Look at me.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't say anything
I'm not
about
qualified.
But but like when you really like learn about it, you're like, that's what's best, that's what I should do.
Yes.
So
And I
even if
think
it's not the easiest.
even if it's not the easiest,
Mhm.
nothing in life comes easy.
Nothing worth having.
Nothing worth having comes easy in life. But
So
like if that's a better quality of life for my child
and and
in birth
and
for
look
me,
how often they push C-sections. Do you know how horribly bad that is
yes.
for both the mother and the
It
child?
cuts
And that's such a standard
there's
thing, and these women, it's not their fault, they don't know any better.
yeah. Like the child is supposed to pass through the vaginal canal because it gives them like a
Yeah. The C-section is supposed to be an absolute last resort, like,
yeah.
and but they're, like, doing it as so common now,
You can schedule one.
and these
If I got
yes, you
pregnant,
can schedule one.
if I got pregnant and went in, I'd be like, I want to have a C-section, and they'd be like, okay, what date?
Yeah.
Like that.
But and that's what's
When
sick that's
I
what's sick about these
like
doctors, they wanna experiment on a
yeah,
Yeah.
they wanna butcher somebody.
like I
A
have
lot of them.
birthing. I like my structure is what? How do you say it to me?
I don't know where
You
we're
got
going,
birthing
guys. You guys
You said you
got
have
birthing hips.
weight bearing,
childbearing hips.
childbearing hips.
Yeah.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Hips don't lie.
Hips don't lie.
Don't lie.
And like I could go in
Scarce
and they
said
could
it.
look at me as a healthy human being. I'm not gonna have gestational diabetes.
So
I'm not gonna have all these things, and they'd be like, C-section.
yeah, and and they want to push the eugenic thing now, like, oh, get tested for this. Oh, and if there's any sort of statistical probability that then we terminate it. Like it's
Yeah.
like they want to, yeah. And the thing is like recognizing that God, Creator God, created everything, the planet, the universe, the complex universe, an atom, a molecule, right? It created man and women, perfect design. The human being is a perfect design. It's
And we're
not
ruining ourselves.
yes, but it's not a there's not like, oh, your appendix, yeah, that was a mistake. That was, evolution didn't get rid of that when it should have. And oh, your tonsils, yeah, you ripped those out. You shouldn't have those. That was a mistake too. No, these aren't mistakes. It's intentional design. Everything has a purpose. And to knowing that when you're like, oh, childbirth, oh yeah, guess what? Christ was born in a manger, surrounded by animals.
I wish.
So like, just you'll do your homework. But I think when someone gets to that point when they're thinking about starting a family, I'm talking about you guys, just it's been on your radar, it sounds like, and thinking about, wow, like we could actually be bringing
It
a
freaks
life
me
that
out.
we are responsible for
It,
into the
it,
because you don't like you think, oh, I'll
I
just
feel like I'm not.
when it's just you,
Yeah, well, I feel like
you
I'm
know?
not able, like I'm not capable of it. Like I feel like I watch everyone else around me doing it, and I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like I am a aunt to a niece and a nephew. My brand new niece was born in November 1st,
I've had a
and
lot of these conversations with
I've
Kaylee.
I've watched I've watched Leighton come out,
Yeah.
like right there. Watched
It's a miracle, right?
all of it. It was it was like it was yesterday. I can still see it all in my head. I recommend everyone in the world watching it. Even if like if Kaylee would let you watch her give birth, which I doubt,
I'm good.
I recommend everyone watching childbirth
Yeah.
because
I think if it were to ever happen, I'd watch you, and that'd be it.
the
I don't think I'd.
emotional roller coaster, like it's excitement and then it's so emotional. It's and there's like you don't even know where the break is, and it's like what a woman body can do and then go back. You're like it's a hole. Like, we all know what that part looks like, and then all of a sudden it's just a hole. And then it goes back. And you're like, and then you have this brand new thing in your world who becomes like just part, like Leighton. Like, I can't see a world without Leighton.
Totally dependent on you for everything, literally.
Yeah. It's so, like, when Leighton was born and I watched every bit of that for like a solid 2 weeks, it was like, I felt like he was my child. Like, it was like, like, give me that baby. I do it with Lainey. Give me that baby. But, like, I don't know. It's a crazy thing. And I recommend everybody watch it in person, real time, not on a video.
I saw a photo.
So, wait,
time,
but
that was like almost.
I know we're getting real in deep into this, but I mean we've touched most points. But now I have like an even more personal question for you. So if you don't like it,
don't answer if you don't.
I can take it out. But we're on the topic. Like, do you see yourself having kids?
No.
You don't? Do you not want them?
I did once, but no, not
But
now.
not now.
No.
Do you want a life partner? Again, don't answer if you don't want to.
I don't know.
The response I got earlier
I don't,
was shut up.
I don't know how to answer that anymore.
It was once there and now it's no longer, is what the vibe I'm getting.
It's probably not something I'm ready to talk about.
Okay.
Perfectly good.
Perfectly fine.
I think I am a kid.
Yes, me too. 1000%. 12.
I think
You're not though. But
Gracie makes me feel like a kid.
I know, but like the thing about men, be thankful, is there's not like a ticking time clock on your uterus.
Yeah. Now, what's his name? Godfather, giant actor, Robert De Niro.
Yeah, he just had a baby at 80 years old.
He'll
like,
never know his kid though.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro
had.
Yeah. How's his?
He's pushing 80.
How is his wife?
Yeah, a lot younger.
A lot younger.
It's too young. It's absurd.
She's getting all the money when he goes. But that's what I'm saying is you don't really have to stress about that because it does get to the point where eggs diminish. You only got so many. You're born with what you got. And then so that's like a woman's tactic is like, it's so taxing when people are like, you gonna have kids? How old are you? It's like 12. Shut your mouth.
Right, and that goes back to like everything. Not only is there a dramatic decline in fertility rates, then there's this huge promotion of abortions, and then you have
and it's pressure of just having a kid because you're a woman.
Well, yeah, and like pressure of like, oh no, wait, right? To get you to wait, knowing that like, because they want women to go and pursue all these other things, knowing that the longer they wait, the less likely they are to be able
do
to
IVF and do all the drugs to try to get themselves. Yeah, it's something that's just it's something I think about like before I go to sleep at night.
So like the conclusion, I guess, of all this was like I said, the main theme of the Bible is it's a king setting up his kingdom, and Adam was the first king. The thing is, it's all messed up. It's all screwed because we don't got the right king. When Jesus Christ comes back, the second coming Christ, he says he will. It's going to be establishing the right king's going to be on the throne, his kingdom. He restores perfect harmony with nature. He can recreate heaven and earth and all of it, and he defeats sin, gets victory over death.
It's not going to be in our lifetime, though.
Could be. I mean, think about how quickly things have gotten changed in just a short
lifetime.
Yes, very short.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yep.
And it's just
I feel like
we don't know when it's gonna be.
No, I know, but like I feel like I maybe just be the negative in me in really like starting to see all of this, but like I feel like we're still going downhill. I feel like there's no uphill climb yet.
Nope.
Like we are still,
Yep.
and people aren't realizing, and it's like people need to realize for this to go uphill. We need more people to realize for it to go uphill, and I feel like it's not 50-50. I feel like it's like
Yeah.
20-80 of who's realizing and who's not, and the brainwash is there. I That's my thought process on it. And then it's like, who am I to sit there and try to get my whole family to change their life because of something I strongly believe in? Like,
Mhm.
the food you're putting in your body is garbage. Stop doing it because
Yeah.
I care about you and I want you to live longer. But they're like, we're fine.
Mhm.
And it's like, but you could avoid something now by changing
Whenever
that tiny little way of life, which is the food you put in your body makes you feel better, could then make it so you don't die of some random freaking cancer in 20 years. You could live longer.
the main thing to realize when you're pursuing like something that is positive in nature, that is good for you, uh, you're you're going to go against the grain. You're going to be misunderstood. You're going to be the minority, and like
Rare.
it's important to embrace that because like you're not going to change people's minds,
No.
but you can't. You just got to keep going. You just got to head down and keep chugging along. And like even though you're like, man, this is great. Like I'm starting to get like my diet and like it's changing and like and I'm feeling so much better. But like, oh no, they're not gonna. You want them to get on board
Yeah.
with you. Like, dude, come on.
Like you're excited about it.
Whenever you embark on a journey, you figure out like you're by yourself.
Yes.
You're going alone.
1000%.
But then the other thing to realize is like you'll meet people along the way, and in all these pursuits, like you're talking about with raising children, trying to do it the right way, homesteading, off grid. Oh, I don't want to be ostracized for wanting to think about a home birth or something. Like you're not alone in those. They want you. The world wants you to think you're crazy, one of those wacko oh, you want to homeschool? You're going to be weird. They have shamed these things
I hate it.
to discourage people from doing that. You
Yes.
can't let it. You cannot be afraid of those things.
It's
You
Mel.
keep going.
Have you listened to
It's
Mel?
Mel Robbins.
Yes.
No, I know who she is.
She talks about shame.
You can't, so you can't pay attention that you go, yeah, whatever. Like oh, you got to wear a mask. There was very few of us that were like, I'm not going to wear a mask and I don't care. You can shame me all you want.
Yes.
Guess what? The truth is out now. It's the same thing with homeschooling,
Yeah.
home births, natural medicine and food, health and nutrition and stuff, right? They're still trying to shame that
Yes.
because,
money.
Yeah. And they just,
So money is the root of all evil, we know, but it's like,
the love of money is the root of all evil. It's greed.
it's, yeah, but it's like, where is all, like, where do you need all this money?
You don't.
You don't.
It's not important.
You don't.
Like it falls down to greed and power.
Yeah.
They want it for more power, which is greedy.
Yeah.
You don't need that extra
billions of dollars.
whatever it is, but you want it for the power.
But like, how do you
have
sleep
more
at
over somebody
night?
else,
Like,
and
you
it's
know,
just
there's
a
some huge company out there, like BlackRock, that like, how do you sleep at night knowing what you're doing and what you're pushing? Like, people are dying for things that could be prevented.
that they use substances to help them sleep.
Oh, I'm sure. But it's like, I don't, there's stuff like that, like the universe.
You know what universe means? This is really wild because this ties into everything we're talking about, right? The Bible is the word of God. Universe means literally means one verse or one voice. This is the voice of God. Universe, one verse. God spoke the world into existence, the universe. It was one voice. That's a scientific word. What they use is universe.
People always try and say, it's a fetus, it's a fetus, it's a fetus. And it's like,
yeah,
doesn't fetus mean like a baby, like a living thing? Like people try and use it as in it's not a baby, it's a fetus. And
yeah,
the Latin for fetus is like small soul or small child. I can't remember what it is exactly, but people always use it, trying to like take away the value of life and don't actually understand the true value.
Yeah, like it's just a fetus.
Right.
People will say, but it's life. Like we talked about the other day, because Keenan gets on these facts, which I'm sure you're seeing. He'll just spew these random facts. And and so the one the other day was when, like, when life is formed inside
When the
the
egg when the sperm fertilizes the egg, there's a flash of light.
there's a
Dude,
flash
that's
of
so
light.
crazy because there's a like it's like all these things, and I don't like I'm not that sharp with it, but like there's a verse in there where it talks about like when I formed thee in the belly. When God's talking about, it might have been Job. I can't remember who it is, but he's talks about when I formed thee in the belly, like what you're describing.
Yeah.
You know, and what science
Scientists prove it.
Yeah,
They've recorded it happens, and they cannot exactly say why it happens.
But it's
But it
spark
happens
of
every
life.
time.
yes.
Isn't that
There's
insane?
a flash of light, and they have no explanation.
It's something about like when I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Like that
Flash.
happened.
I don't that when you told me that, I was like,
and then you look at all of these like you know, Old Testament prophecies of certain people they were prophesied about before they were ever born. A lot of them, like Christ, example, before he was even conceived, as an actual person, like he was mentioned long before he had even ever been born or even conceived. So it's like there is an eternal part of you floating around there before you have your physical body. I don't know. There's like you have a soul. There's no doubt. There's a soul.
yeah, and that's my thing with like
Body, soul, spirit. You know.
yes, like
Eyes are the gateway to the soul. You look at someone's eyes, you're looking into something deep.
yes. And like
Blow your mind.
we have like it's like a proven thing. Like we have it's energy. Like we have energy in us.
Yeah.
And like where does that energy go when you die?
Yeah.
Like the
Law of thermodynamics. You know, you can't create or destroy energy.
energy. So
It can only be transferred. Where's it go?
where does it go?
It goes somewhere.
And so like people like I used to get home from school, make my Michelina frozen mac and cheese,
Peanut butter and fluff.
peanut butter.
You're a big peanut butter and fluff guy.
Mac and cheese in the little bowl.
Mac and cheese loaf.
Watch
Peanut butter and fluff.
I'd watch
Name for it.
a fluffernutter.
Yeah.
Fluffernutter.
Duh. I just had one like a week ago. I really did.
Disappointed.
So sorry. It's like a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd watch House Hunters ghost stuff, and they would be like thermal radio listening for like spirits and stuff, and it's like okay, so somebody died in that energy, like that intrigued me a ton. Like, am I gonna get to haunt my family when I go? Like, I wish and pray that my Uncle Mark is sitting in that chair right there haunting me. Like if I could just know that that man was haunted, I'd be so happy because you can't explain this man. But like then there's also the thing that like okay, if they go to heaven and their energy's there, is my energy going to go meet them? Am I going to be able to like embrace them, or are we going to just be I don't know. It's such a weird thing because like my grandmother passed in a nursing home, and the nurse when she passed, the nurses came in and opened the windows. And I was like, "Why are you opening the windows?" And they were like, "It's to let her energy go." And I was like, "Wow. Well, what if I wanted her energy to stay? Where's her energy going?" And then like it's stuff that like I couldn't sleep for weeks when my grandmother passed away. I'm like, "Where'd she go?" It's so deep, and we don't know. There's no answer. But I don't know. I think that's when I got intrigued, and then we meet Cory running around in our woods and get watching, and I'm like, oh, I could question him on this stuff, but I feel like people don't question you on this stuff.
No, I'm glad you did. You know, I don't always have all the right answers, obviously, and I'm willing to admit that I usually know where to find the answers, and like that oftentimes requires a lot of follow up. But these are good questions. Like I encourage you. It's like you're on that spiritual journey, and it's very important.
I've been super against it, and now I'm like very intrigued.
I keep saying seek truth. Like you cannot go wrong if you are seeking truth, and it's a funny thing. Like, am I boring you to tears?
No.
Seeking it's funny because you got Truth and Fables. We're going around hanging out with buds, right?
Frables?
Fables.
Okay.
Fables. Yes, I told you I'm sponsored. Truth and fables.
Fishing tip up.
Truth and lies, right?
Yes.
And they
Fable. Yes.
batteries down. And they're going around, right? And they went
Keep going.
yeah, no, so they went skinny dipping, right? And truth and fables. If fables stole truth's clothes. So whenever you find you've got all kinds of fables that are walking around disguised as the truth, but it's not the truth. But when you find the truth, it's the naked truth.
Because they weren't wearing any clothes.
I liked shoot, PragerU. Dennis Prager.
Yeah.
Said
Jewish man.
yes. He said, a lot of people talk about truth. Trying to remember, I can't remember the exact saying that he said there, but I guess what I was thinking of was evil. And he's like, people talk about evil being a dark thing, but evil is actually really bright. Like, when you see evil, when something's wrong. And a lot of people just like to shun away from it like a bright light. Like, they just rather not look at it, rather just.
Oh, I look right at it in the face. I feel like I have a vibe.
It's noticeable. If
Yes.
someone's doing anything wrong, it can be how you treat your dog to how you treat others to it's there. It is very noticeable. And a lot of people nowadays like to just shun away from it.
It's an objective reality.
I feel like I have a gift of reading.
Catching Cuskalingas.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to bring up names, but in my family, there's a specific family member who I have not liked my whole life. Like, young. Like, how can you be so young and look at someone and just feel evil? Like, evil intentions. You're like, I'm young. I don't know anything that's gone on in this family, like personal, adult wise stuff, but my family hasn't given me the vibe at all. Like, I spent the night at this person, like that it is my family member, but I don't want to be around you. I don't like you, and to me you are evil. And it took my adult parents until 2 years ago to really say, wow, you were right when you were 5 that this person is pure evil. And my mom is very like, she doesn't go deep. There, it stops. Like, she can talk deep, but she can't go. And so she'll like look at me and be like, what's your vibe with that? And I'll be like, bing, bang, boom. And then she's like, okay. And she'll feel it out. And then it's like, it musters. And then she's like, you were right about that. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if it's like a gift or if I can just see right through people's BS. But like, it's like, I can spot an evil person from a mile away. I can see good intentions and bad intentions, but evil, I'm like, no.
I think a lot of people can. They just will
shun away from it. Ignore it. And like, I mean, in our situation, our first date, I met your parents.
Sorry.
And
a little soon.
And yeah, I should have ran for the hills, but you did nothing wrong. So it's like, I can't punish you for what you were dealt. And that, yeah, so that's a whole different thing. But like, I could spot evil. I may be evil. I don't know, but I could spot it from a mile away. Want to move on because there's Cuskalingas?
It's all good. This could go on forever, but it's a journey to seek truth. Just keep saying that because it's so true.
That's what it's going to be titled.
I don't know if anyone would really get anything out of this, but maybe more questions than answers.
I set up an email.
Answers start with a question.
I know.
You have to ask the question.
Answers start
the answer.
Yeah, so I set up an email. It's offgridderspod@gmail.com. So I could use it for stuff for specifically the podcast, but so that people could, if they wanted to, email and get clarity on that question. going off of like Meat Eater podcast, they do that. Like people will email in and then they'll backtrack and re-answer. So if people do, it'll be in like the bio and whatnot. And I'm gonna like announce all of this stuff at some point. I just want to feel it out and see how it goes.
Yeah, well, I'm honored. I don't know if you'll ever publish this or not, but I'm honored that you took the time to, and I'm humbled that you asked what you did, and I hope I did it justice.
Be back because you're
And
you don't have many friends.
yeah, I know
Our second guest is Cory.
Yeah, I know I interrupt a lot and I talk over people. I try not to, but I'm aware of it.
No, we do too. It's part of being excited about talking about
Excited, a lot to say.
which I was told that Cory doesn't get excited.
Yeah, I guess.
My last question, which kind of was my first question, but it was kind of like what's your why?
My why for
Your why for, I guess, who you are as a person. Like, I don't want to say what shapes you, but like,
who am I and why?
like you're right now in this phase in your life, you're a YouTuber, and
I hate that word, by the way.
You're a content creator.
Same thing, but yeah, you're right.
You want
no, it's accurate. It's accurate.
Okay.
It's just it still sounds
You're
weird.
full time.
Okay.
Content creator. You're dog dad.
Yeah.
Like at this moment in your life, like why are you doing what you're doing, and where do you want to go? Future.
So
It was better in my head than what I wrote down.
I understand the question. It's hard to answer. I will say this. I definitely have the I feel the urgency to go on a journey, to like go on an expeditionary level journey, to do something extremely challenging. I've already got some plans in the works. You want to challenge yourself. Yeah, and in order to grow, you must get out of your comfort zone. And I've been stuck. There's been many reasons for it. I mean, I needed to get this cabin built and stuff, but it's no excuse. It's time to like go push myself out of the comfort zone. You got to go somewhere you've never been. You have to test yourself to know who you like. You ask, who am I? Like, I don't know. I gotta go. I don't know yet. I thought, just when you start to think that you're figuring out who you are, you learn more about yourself. You have no idea, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I'm sure those are good questions that you asked, and I'm in the process of trying to answer them. So maybe we'll follow up, and I'll have some better answers for you.
Well,
Maybe I won't be so tired.
I jotted down like fun,
Yeah,
health stuff. So basically, a journey. You want to go challenge yourself.
I got to go do something. Like there's people out there. There's like connections to be made. You can't just like we're not meant to be
stay in one place.
No, but like it's such a trap. Everything's a trap. You have to have a job and a career and a house and these things to pay for, and like and now you can't, and now you're stuck. But like we're explorers. We're supposed to like go forth. Yes. Maybe into a far country or something. I don't know yet. Like
was put here for us to see it.
We got legs made for walking, man.
Yeah. These boots.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know, because I think about stuff like that. Like Keenan and I have talked about travel and stuff like that, and it's like I've always said, I have no interest in going across the pond. And then I get on YouTube and start watching YouTube, and I'm like, I want to go to every Christmas market in Germany, in Austria, and I want to ride the river cruise through Germany and Austria to go to all the Christmas markets, because that looks very intriguing. And then it's like other
feel very
people's.
fortunate to have
You went.
been able to see and do the things I have in my short time.
Yeah.
From Germany to Alaska to Colorado to Canada, Hawaii, I feel like I've been very fortunate.
We're concluding this. We have like 20 cusks.
Yes.
Hopefully.
We got a lot of Cuskalinga out there. Corey's gonna pass out.
Dude, we got a rule though. It's not a Cuskalinga unless it's over 24 inches.
No, it's always a Cuskalinga. Don't start with
It's
me.
like an ahi. A true
No,
ahi and why is not
negative.
ahi unless it's 100 pounds.
Negative. Corey, is there anything else you want to say? He's speechless.
We covered quite a bit.
I mean, what he's taken in the last couple hours here with us.
I hope you guys do well. I want to encourage you and just keep going
We're going.
with everything.
We're going.
Do the best you can.
Same to you. You can find Corey on YouTube.
And if we haven't said it enough, not just because we're important, but thank you very much for all the help and guidance that you've offered.
Yeah, with the house.
It's been incredibly
huge.
helpful, and it's just nice to know that somebody wants us to do well. It helps.
And wanted to bring us here to this beautiful little cabin.
Likewise.
And just completely run our mouths and eat food and try to catch fish because everybody needs good company. But you can find Corey on YouTube, The Maine Woods, Instagram, The Maine Woods,
it's all connected.
the _Maine _Woods, and that's where you are. You anywhere else?
Nope.
You're right here.
Right here.
Right here.
Good place to be.
Let's go catch some cuss.
Let's do it.